Nothing is quite like the real thing.
Getting shown up twice, Marianne. That's why you don't go judging people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can get a date.
Shots fired.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to 4pixels. Coco and Kimi are here, and we are joined by Buttons and Lay Filet from Cacophony of Games, and we are continuing the letter. Go ahead and take this line again.
Okay. Thankfully, instead of opening her mouth, she leads the way towards her station and goes to fetch the floor plans. It won't take too long, as she says, but it does take a bit. Time spent to compose herself, most likely.
You know, we usually just email these things.
I prefer the real thing.
Not that she would know. Wow.
Wow.
You probably have your nose stuck in front of a smartphone when you're not working, and even when you should be working. Playing those mindless, addictive games.
What the heck? What? Well,
I
actually,
find this
think...
hilarious. Because isn't the dev of this a mobile game dev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also find it hilarious considering that Marion has, some fucking weeb-ass wall scrolls on her goddamn wall.
The
Yeah.
weebiest.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just gonna say, I actually think I know what this is about. Since we showed Rose the letter and had that freak out, that's probably why she doesn't think all that highly of Isabella.
True. I definitely wish Chris would stop playing that Batcat thing during work hours, too.
I know what you mean.
But Batcat.
Digital painting is nice, but nothing beats the smell of real paint. Not that I go and smell paint like a crazy person, but, the real thing is different.
Foot in mouth.
Wait. What?
Yes, nothing is quite like the real thing.
Getting shown up twice, Marianne. That's why you don't go judging people.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you can get a date.
Shots fired.
Congrats, Kime. You did not throw away your shot.
Thank you.
Checking out the floor plans, I see that I'll have a lot going for me. Now I know how Ray felt when he found that Central Park West building floor plans from that one movie.
I'm looking at these.
One moment.
Taking a screenshot.
Yup.
Take pictures.
Oh man, that's gonna be something that's gonna come back to bite us if we don't have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Let me just study this a little bit.
Man, speaking about a brief interlude about missing maps, the first time my housemate and I played Silent Hill 3, we never found the map to the hospital.
Oh.
So we did the entire thing by memory.
Oh, jeez.
And then we went to leave the hospital and found it, and we're like, are you kidding me? There was a map the entire fucking time. And the hospital's one of the biggest levels in Silent Hill 3.
Dang.
We're just like the level of just exponentially done that we were at that moment was just insane.
I mean, come on, get back to the days where, they don't just hand you a goddamn map, and you've got to literally, break out the graph paper and get a giant literal crime scene board set up just to freaking navigate the maze in a game.
I didn't get to play those
Monkey
because I was
Caves,
not to play games.
Earthbound.
That reminds me how the first Pokemon game, I didn't know about the flash thing, so I navigated the whole cave in the dark.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Kime.
And I did it.
Honestly, I'm impressed.
I'm kind of impressed too. Damn, girl.
That's some skill.
This is why I became an architect in the first place. Jacqueline's style at its finest. It's a thing of beauty. That's not
Wouldn't
how you
take your
spell.
luck in there.
Look at these gorgeous rooms. The delicate harmony between empty spaces. And speaking of empty spaces, there's something rather odd about these ones.
Tell us more.
I feel a bit silly saying it out loud because I've never lived in a big house, let alone a mansion. But during the tour, I had the distinct impression that the rooms were bigger.
Mhm.
Maybe the scale is wrong? It's not much of a problem. And it is an old house.
There had been little details here and there that I would like to address during the open house too. But it was all forgotten in the wake of Miss Santos' incident and the trouble with ownership. The wine cellar is going to be a problem. I shudder to think what sort of repairs they did on the place. There might have been things that were swept under the rug, pushed into the dark corner of the rooms, and hid away in barrels, like a body. Water damage could be covered up.
I was just
No,
about
those
to
goes in
say,
sofas.
like a body.
But yeah, those goes in sofas, remember?
Oh, right, you right. There had been floods due to heavy rain.
What?
Due to heavy rains in West England just last year, after all. And if there's any sort of damage to the house's foundation, that's going to be a lot of work. I was not able to look at the attic as well. For all I know, a whole family of vermin could have made their nest there. Working with pest control is always the worst. I'm gonna think the mortician will be worse, just saying. The sheer size of the place is staggering, even if I did just say it was a lot smaller than I thought. I might just be biting off more than I can chew. But who doesn't like a good challenge? First things first, I'll have to.
So, do you want a coffee? The one from the staff room is pretty decent.
There's really no need. I'm sure you have rules against it.
Rules against bringing someone coffee? That's ridiculous. And even if there were regulations against it, nobody's really here to tell Sir John. I've already brought 2 mugs, and I'm not going to drink them on my own. Come on.
I have to stamp down my annoyance at being distracted. Seeing the girl, the young woman though, it looks like she has a lot on her mind. If babbling is her way of dealing with stray thoughts, I'm not really the one she should be babbling to. How should I respond? Be nice to Isabella!
Yes. Everyone in agreement?
Yeah.
Yes.
I give her time to speak up.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
But when she just stares, I clear my throat.
Yes? You have something to say?
As embarrassment creeps up on her face, I snatch one of the coffees from her and take a sip. Too hot. Oh,
Just thinking
real though.
and speaking off the record, it must be fun what you do. You go to people's houses and you make them, well, pretty. You're sharing your art with them.
It's a little bit more
Aw.
complex than that. But if you put it that way, it is fun. I wouldn't have done it for 7 years if it wasn't a little bit fun, I guess.
These big clients always have paintings in their homes. Do you have a supplier for art pieces?
I didn't expect to hear such a question from her, seeing how well she handled herself yesterday. I didn't doubt then why she was assigned to an important sale like the Ermengarde mansion, despite the little accident she had. Now, she just looks too young, too nervous, and unsure of herself. Although, her enthusiasm must make up for some of that in spades. In fact, I wouldn't have believed it if she had introduced herself the way she was at the moment. Why, watching her now, she actually looks like she should still be in college. Acts a bit like it too, when I think about it. I thought she was the team slamming it out of the mansion when I first saw her there, lying on the ground. Surprise, surprise. She turned out to be one of the estate agents handling the property. I don't even know what to make of the whole meltdown that happened with that strange document. If I were the client, I would have been very upset. She'd be in hot water for it.
The clients usually support artists of their own choice. If they don't, I'm always happy to refer those that I know.
That's cool.
They're very picky. I don't think a hobbyist will have an easy time getting their work sold.
Hey, I'll have you know I was a student of the fine arts.
And yet, here you are, selling property. Maybe you weren't a very fine student of the arts.
Ouch.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Ariana, please control yourself. Maybe?
maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I took that a bit too far. She bites her cheek. It looks like she's barely holding herself back.
It's not like I had a choice.
She mutters it under her breath. I barely even hear it. But the hurt is there. And it makes one wonder what brought it on. Although, it is understandable, if for reasons what I think it is. Very few people make it big in the art world.
Not what you're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I can see why she'd be upset about it, with that enthusiasm. I didn't have a choice when I left Ireland. It was that her years of unemployment. The recession and the toll it took on the construction industry was out of anyone's control. I don't know what choice she wasn't able to make, whether it was about her being an art student. Oh, wait a minute. Whether it was about her being at art school or something else. But the world isn't a fair place. And the sooner she accepts it, the better. Still, with that forlorn look on her face, I can't help but sigh. The girl reminds me far too much of myself when I was younger.
Well, if you're thinking of commissioning your paintings, I'll have to see your work first.
Oh, it's not. I didn't mean it like that. I don't have any paintings.
Really? You sounded a lot like you still did art or want to. Now I'm starting to worry that you might just like the smell of paint.
I'm not a paint huffer, sheesh. I just mean I don't make much anymore. I don't really have the time for it. The tools and materials aren't exactly cheap either.
So fucking
Everything
true.
has a price. It sounds like you're making excuses for something you're presumably passionate about. If you really want to practice art, a little out of your wallet isn't much.
It's not that simple.
It's not. Life's simple. People just like to make it complex. Speaking off the record, I have some advice for you, kid. Either go for what you want, or stop thinking about it when you have something else. That is unless you enjoy making yourself miserable, then by all means.
You know, if you wanted to look at the floor plans without me bothering you, you could have just said so.
Would you have left me alone?
We'll never know now, will we?
A strained air settles in the room afterwards. It doesn't help that she doesn't immediately leave, as she has said, lingering awkwardly by the door with that downcast expression. Clear there's more she means to say, perhaps even to defend herself in her choices in life. Or is she expecting me to dish out more of that advice? It's an awkward affair, and I choose to hightail out of the realty office as quick as I can.
Oof.
Damn, Marianne, you need to work on your social skills.
Yeah.
They're new. Marianne visited BRC to pick up the floor plans. She was assisted by Isabela Santos, and the two shared a brief talk about art, which ended with Marianne leaving a piece of advice to Isabela.
That I am able to keep myself professional at all times does not mean I like it. And seeing that most of the day has already gone by before I realised it, I choose to head back to my flat instead. Despite today being a Saturday. No fun, but at least this way, I can definitely avoid another unpleasant encounter.
Luke's in her bed with a rose in his lips.
Ugh. Well, considering how much I'll be seeing whiskey in the near foreseeable future, I have a feeling I'll need all the rest the weekend can give me. For the first time in a long while, excited as I am to work on the mansion, I cannot wait to be over and done with this project.
October 24th, Monday.
Monday couldn't come any sooner. After taking the floor plans from the Santos the day before last, I spent most of my Sunday drawing up plans and calling in my suppliers. Although no design choices have been made yet, I'm quite sure that they'll want high-end appliances, the most expensive materials, and the most pretentious everything. They usually did, these rich types. Based from experience, at least. Given how badly this whole thing started, it won't hurt to be prepared. I have to check myself. Make sure I'm not playing with my gloves as one of the other building tenants takes the elevator up with me. It makes me self-conscious when the woman's eyes go over me, and I'm sure she was going to point out some perceived flaw in my physical appearance. But I'm saved from being paranoid when they went off a few floors later. Still, the ride up to my floor is nerve-wracking. The Wrights lived at the very top, the penthouse, the creme de la creme when it comes to condominium and urban living. Just getting access to the place is an ordeal of its own. I had to jump so many hoops, so many security checks, just to secure a keycard. Not only because of building management, but because of the Wrights' personal security. Sometimes felt like I'm being interrogated for a crime, and not visiting a client at their home. Even when the personal assistant called in to help out and verify my presence, the process is aggravated rather than hastened. Speaking of the devil. The elevator door opens, and I'm greeted by none other than Whiskey's not-so-little lackey.
I do apologize if I kept Mr. and Mrs. Wright waiting. But I'm here now and I'm ready, so if I may, where are they?
They've just woken up, but they should be down soon. I'm surprised to see you made it through security, and only 5 minutes late.
You said I'd be through security soon, and it took half an hour. Define soon in this context.
I'd make myself comfortable if I were you. I'm going to go and put the kettle on.
About the tea, I don't want to intrude or anything.
The sir does not like being woken up by the whistling. But who am I to deny tea to a guest?
He shows me to the couch before drifting off towards the kitchen, quietly pulling out a teapot, cups, and all sorts of other things in preparation for tea. I ignore the animosity towards his employer that his words implied. I wouldn't be too surprised if Whiskey's own people didn't like him. Accepting the quiet and isolation instead, I brace myself for what's to come. In this case, soon apparently means more than 5 minutes, or even 10. I sit in their living room, just waiting. And when the kettle starts whistling and the tea has been served, I continue to wait. At least the silence is relaxing. Is this, the night after she kicks him off into the guest room?
Probably. Let me see. Or maybe a little bit. Actually, it might be later, I think.
Because we're on the 24th now.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is way later.
Okay. But then, there's a crash. I nearly spilled tea all over my lap in surprise, and I look up expecting security to come running. Even the man at the kitchen counter continues to fix breakfast, like he heard nothing. I don't want to speak up about it because he looks far too absorbed in his cooking. I don't want to be the cause of burnt food or worse. However, there's something in me that just wants to figure out what that was, although I am not normally this although I am normally not this nosy. What should I do then?
Continue waiting?
But it might be Hannah.
Or Luke.
Ugh. Boner killed.
Good question.
Yeah, I really don't know. This one's like 50-50.
I'm gonna go with continue waiting because Johannes has been very acute about things so far. Maybe not acute,
Yeah.
astute. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's probably just Luke being a hot mess.
Yeah. Alright, yeah, continue waiting.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I have no business with it. These rich people usually value their privacy above all else, after all. Unless, of course, they're posting pictures on social media, bragging about what good people they are for allowing themselves to be interviewed for some magazine. Then again, the whole reason I'm in this mess is because I don't give two shits about what goes on with people like them. And I'm not going to get caught snooping about and be accused of some imagined wrongdoing.
Oh, I didn't even
That
think
sounds
about that.
real. That sounds real personal, though.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, a little bit.
About being accused of some imagined wrongdoing.
Oh.
From snooping around. Quote, quote. I'm not going to be some busybody, detective wannabe, and run off to investigate. Whatever that was. Foreshadowing? It's probably just some mundane anyway, like a lamp falling over.
Luke cracking his skull.
Please.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
The computer will fuck that guy. I'm just going to sit here and wait for Mrs. Wright. With my tea. In complete silence.
Could I at least put the telly on?
That's a very nice shot. Oh, why do I feel like the lady's just gonna
Yup.
appear?
Mm-hmm. I don't really expect him to answer. If he hadn't heard the crash, I doubt he would have heard me.
As long as you don't watch some silly soap opera.
Relatable.
NBC News would be fine. The William Walker show is on too if you prefer that. Not that I watch it, but my husband does. The remote is under the coffee table.
Oh, sure. Maybe I'll be lucky and catch the doc on. I heard they're having reruns of the classics, and I want to see the second meet sixth in Spain. If not, Just the news then. Thank you. I'll let you get on with your cooking now.
Did he just ignore the crash a while ago then? Whatever. Touching the remote, I turned the TV on in the hopes of filling the silence.
So puppy.
Trying to, anyway, because the thing wouldn't turn on.
And with that, we will end this episode right here. Thank you guys for joining us and see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Peace out, Girl Scout!